having multiple miscarriages, I don't think I will ever be the same. And if you've had a miscarriage and you're wondering, will I ever be the same? Will life ever feel like a normal life to me again? The answer is likely no. If you listen to this video, I will explain to you how your life may be changed forever, but in some unassuming ways, and it's not all bad. If you're looking for support while trying to navigate these twists and turns of infertility, you might find it interesting how faith and facts will put you on the right path to motherhood. Please subscribe to my channel to join my space of grace. Hit the notification bell and you will be notified every time I upload a video. My profession as a nurse practitioner and personal life experiences bring such a unique aspect to these types of topics that we discuss on this channel. So again, I want to talk to you about how losing babies changed my life forever. Number one, the biggest change that took a toll on me for a long period of time and still does is that it strips your innocence away. It strips the innocence of experiencing that first pregnancy or that first experience as a mother without having lost beforehand. And let me explain. When you've had multiple losses and you finally do have a pregnancy, you treat the pregnancy as delicate and as fragile as a piece of glass, I tell you. And the reason you do that is because it's almost, you're like caught in the middle. You don't want to become overly excited or overly exuberated about the pregnancy because you're afraid that that pregnancy may be taken away from you as the others were in the past. So you experience it in a kind of a low joy, like a low level joy that you have. You're joyous and you're happy, but you're not elated. You're more so like, okay, all right, this is cool. Thank you, God, and you carry on in like a low level joy most of the time because of the losses that you've had before. And it's all the way 100% a protection mechanism for your heart. So that's one of the main things, stripping you of that innocence. Even when you actually become pregnant and every phase that you get to, especially with me having losses at different phases of the pregnancy, it was always that, okay, am I okay now? Okay, I'm 16 weeks. Am I okay now? But then there's all these other types of losses that might occur at 30 weeks, so you're always left not really settled into the pregnancy. And when you have not had losses, you take those things for granted. And maybe that's good or bad that that may be a good thing that you're more cautious of things and you're not as naive and you don't take as much for granted. But it is a way that changes you, and it does put you more on pins and needles even after you become a mother. I just recall having like these really unsettling feelings, like something was going to happen to my baby. Literally, I would watch her sleep just to make sure she didn't stop breathing. You know what I mean? And I've had other friends that have gone through infertility and miscarriage as well that have had some of the same feelings, so I know I'm not alone on it. But at every point in every stage of their lives, you feel like something's going to snatch them away. I mean, it can be as vivid as dreams or what have you. And if you feel like it has gotten to the point where it's debilitating, again, I always say seek professional help, whether that be a counselor, a therapist, or a pastor, or someone you trust or that's trained in that field to help you through it. But do look for those red flags, and if you're experiencing those things, that's totally normal. It's totally normal. But you will go through those experiences of motherhood during the TTC phase, the actual conception phase, the actual carrying of the baby to being a mother. You're always going to be experiencing it differently from someone who's never had a loss. Number two, the second way in which I notice that it affects you forever is that the hurt never goes away. It never truly goes away. I mean, we can put a Band-Aid on it and we can pacify it and we can put a bow on it and we can put it further back in our memory, but it never goes away. And the hurt that you feel sometimes is triggered, and you never know what's going to trigger that hurt. It could be something as simple as an event, a baby shower, a birthday party, you getting older, your birthday party, and you're thinking, I'm at this age and I don't have babies yet. I've had all of these losses, which will trigger emotions that you've had. It could be something as simple as you reading something or seeing something online. Social media is probably the largest trigger. And I remember that when I was going through all of the losses, I had to take a pause several times away from social media. So please don't feel obligated to share and, be that example or what have you when you're in the middle of it. I felt guilty for so long for not speaking for a little bit of time when I was actually coping and going through. But I needed that for myself. So you definitely have to take care of yourself, because there are all these triggers and emotional things out there that will send you back into your sadness and your solemnness. And, taking care of yourself mentally is what's going to get you to that next pregnancy. Or if you have children already, it's what's going to keep you thriving and being the best mother that you can possibly be for your daughter or your son. You will be surprised that even your children, if you have had children, will be triggers for the children that you lost. And the other night, Sydney, my youngest baby, she was waking up throughout the night from teething, and I went in just to hold her and to rock her, just to kind of soothe her. And I started thinking about Gabriella, and I started thinking, how I never got a chance to do that for her, how I never got a chance to hold her and rock her. And even though I'm here just loving on Sydney, just giving her so much love and just feeling her and appreciating her, at the same time, it's a hurt in the back of the heart for Gabriella, So know what your triggers are, figure out ways to navigate around them, know that they will never ever truly completely go away. And you should honor that part of your journey, because God sent you through that for a reason. And share, be able to comfort someone with the comfort that God is giving you during this time that you are getting through this. And if you're right in the middle of it, it is okay to if you just had a miscarriage, shut it down. Okay? You don't have to explain, you don't have to talk, you don't have to share, you don't have to do anything other than eat. Please eat and drink your water. But you don't have to do anything but take care of your needs. Take care of yourself, sis. That's the most important thing right now. But yes, that's number 2, and that was definitely something that changed me forever and ever. Hey, can you comment down below, yes or no, if you've felt any change, if you've experienced a miscarriage and you felt any of the 2 changes that I've discussed previously. Third thing that I experienced that changed my life forever is the feeling of empathy for those that have had loss, specifically fetal and pregnancy loss. It put me in a position, as kind of we discussed before, that I could be there and provide the type of care, concern for those that experienced it, and for those on the opposite side who are wondering how they can support someone who has experienced it. It just gave me a better perspective on how to navigate through these things. I mean, it's so taboo, so secretive, and so many people don't discuss it that, and I think that's why, because people don't know how to approach it. So it gives us that unique vantage point. Unfortunately, we joined this very unpopular club to get this vantage point, but once we have experienced it, we're able to teach others and shed some light on this, on this part of our journey that we're experiencing, because it's not that uncommon, you guys. We know that 1 out of 3 to 4 pregnancies end in at least 1 miscarriage. So it's not that it's not happening, it's just that people aren't talking about it. So the great thing that it has done is given me the position to be an advocate and empathize with those that have gone through infertility, miscarriage, all types of things, the gamut of things that come along with that. Okay, guys, the 4th thing is the next to last thing, and it's pretty important. This journey of not only miscarriages, but infertility in general, has changed my life for this reason in a way that will probably benefit me for the rest of my life and trickle down to my family as well. And that is, it changed how I take care of my body. I realized that, and being within the medical field, where a lot of times have been so medically focused, and you're taught medical, you're really not taught how to treat holistically in nursing school and medical school. So those are things you pick up from life experiences, how you were raised, what your parents fed you, what their practices were, what you mirrored, what you saw, what you picked up on. So and your experiences actually mold who you are. So this experience has definitely taught me that we can actually put a lot of things regarding our health we can take back some control of those things by taking care of our bodies and managing the way that we eat, managing the way that we consume things. So what goes into our body, what we rub on our body, what deodorant we wear, what we clean with, what we ingest, what we put on our hair. All of these things are things that can cause chemical disruption and destroy some of our cells at the very fundamental level, affect our egg quality, affect your mental state of mind. Everything that you consume, eat, absorb are things that make a difference. And so this journey has taught me how to manage those things better, and how to choose very carefully the things that I welcome into my body and into my household. And those things have definitely trickled down to my children, how I feed them, what I put on them, what they eat, what they see. Being active, I'm not a person that exercises 4 or 5 times a week, but I do try to incorporate activity at least a few times a week, rather it be walking, riding a bike, doing some yoga. My kids are on the floor, even though I may have one on my shoulder, one on my back, or one of them's around my leg. At least we're doing it and they see it. They know what yoga is. So just taking care of our bodies is just so important as we go through this process, and that I really appreciate. That it unfortunately took these things in my life to get it, but I get it, and I don't think I'll ever go backwards on that one. So taking care of my body would be the next thing. And 5, guys, and there's probably so many other ways that I have not even touched on in this video, so I've just really chosen the top 5 ways that multiple miscarriages and infertility has changed my life. But the 5th one is my absolute favorite one of all, and that is, it has strengthened my faith, and it has strengthened my personal relationship with God. I mean, when I was younger, I went to church, of course. We went to Sunday school. I was in the choir. We did the things. But, it takes something happening usually before you actually lean on God in a way that you've never done so before. And I mean, not just reading your Bible, but actually receiving those words and believing those words. And it also comes across in the way that you speak to God, and the way that you pray, and the way that you perceive Him, not just like some untouchable thing, but as your Father, like your heavenly Father who is here to take care of you. Like, I remember after I had miscarriage number 2, and after I had miscarriage number 3, my body went through some excruciating pain. I'm talking about like laborish type pain from spasms that I was having, endometriosis related, constipation related, triggered some spasms from some medications that I was giving for pain. Like, it was just a gamut of things. And my body was physically hurting, trying to recover. But not only was the body recovering, but I was mentally hurting too. So it kind of makes the situation worse. And I remember just asking God to just wrap your arms around me right now, because my husband cannot help this. I cannot do it on my own. My mom, my family, my aunt, everybody came down to check on us. They can't cure this type of pain that you're having. It's got to be him. So I literally was like, God, just wrap your arms around me and hold me. And I really felt like I could feel the warmth and the comfort of my God just wrapping his arms around me and telling me it will be okay. You will be okay. And that was really one of the only things that settled me at times. And I would have to go into a space with him, like a personal space with him, when things got the worst, you know. And it also allowed me to develop a practice of spending the first moments of my day with him. And these days I don't have as much time as I did before the kids came, but I still try to listen to podcasts. I couldn't get out. Podcasts or different messages, or I have the Bible actually on my audibles that I listen to. In the morning, I get up and I read my devotional. You know, every morning I try to do that before I'm woken up by the kids. But just practices that have laid a foundation that will never go away, and the relationships that we have built, well, that I have, because he's always been here, but that I have built. I've stepped in and leaned into him more. So I really, really appreciate that. Again, long haul to get there. Tough road to get to that point, but you know, I'm so thankful and grateful for that. Okay, guys, let's try to keep this conversation going. Please don't be silent unless you need to be, especially within our African American culture. We tend to go silent, and we tend to be very secretive, and we tend to suffer alone or with our spouse, which sometimes will tear into our relationships with our spouse. So let's try to open up and have conversations. And if you have no one to talk to, I'm here. Remember, I have an Instagram page that you can speak to me on, and I'm very, very active on that page. Or you can speak to me here on YouTube, as long as the comments are enabled. I thank you so much for being here. I thank you for listening and tuning in for the whole entire video. Thank you so much. Don't feel guilty for how this journey changes you. Again, this is also in honor of Pregnancy Loss and Miscarriage Awareness Month. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one. Mwah.